Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I know it has been a while since I've posted, but I'm back today and I'm going to show you what I'm making for Easter this year. So the first dessert I'm making for Easter is a 4-layer rainbow cake, and I'm going to make the batter for that right now. And so I'm using 2 vanilla cake mixes that I'm just going to prepare according to the package directions. So now that I got my batter all mixed up, I'm going to try to divide this into 4 bowls as equally as possible, and I'm not sure how this will go, but I'm going to try my best to put this in here equally. So I think I did a pretty okay job of portioning this out into my bowls, and now I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring to each bowl. And how much food coloring you add just depends on how bright you want your colors to be. So unfortunately, we only have 2 round cake pans, so I can only bake 2 layers at a time, but that's okay. So I'm going to pour my batter into my cake pans that I lined with some parchment paper and sprayed with cooking spray, because I definitely do not want these cakes to stick. And then I'm going to bake these in my 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes. So the rainbow cake layers are all cooled. If you want to speed up the cooling process, you can stick them in a freezer for about 45 minutes. It definitely cools them off a lot quicker than just putting them in a fridge or leaving them on a counter. So now I'm going to stack my layers, and I'm putting some good old Cool Whip in between. Okay, so as you can see, I finished frosting the top and between the layers and the sides of the cake with some Cool Whip. And now I'm going to take this store-bought blue frosting. You can use any color of frosting, obviously. This is just what we had. And I'm going to pipe an Easter design on the top. Okay guys, so I finished decorating the cake. I did a border around the edges and then a cross with the blue frosting. And I think that it looks pretty good considering I'm really not the best at cake decorating, but I think I actually did a pretty good job with this one. So the next recipe I'm making is some Rice Krispie Easter nests. And I'm just making the Rice Krispie treats according to the directions on the box of Rice Krispie cereal. But I am cutting the recipe in half to make 6 nests instead of 12 because there are only 6 people coming to our Easter celebration. And I have my marshmallows and butter that I melted down for about 1 minute and 15 seconds in a microwave. And now I'm going to add some green food coloring and stir that in. Again, just add however much you want depending on how bright you want your green to be. And then I added in my 3 cups of Rice Krispie cereal, and I'm just going to mix this up until it is completely combined. Now I'm going to use these silicone, however you pronounce that, silicone baking cups to form these nests, and I'll put some Rice Krispie into the little cupcake pan and then kind of press it up against the sides to form it into a nest shape. And one thing that really helps when you are working with Rice Krispies is to spray your hands with a little bit of cooking spray. That way, when you touch the Rice Krispie treats, your hand will not stick. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do for my Rice Krispie Easter nest is add 3 or however many you want of these little pastel peanut M&Ms. I think they look like eggs, kind of like robin's eggs or something. And just add those into the center of each nest. And that's like all you have to do for these. They're a really easy, cute Easter dessert that you can make. And they're really tasty too, except I don't really like peanuts, but that's okay. You can also use jelly beans if you want for the eggs, but I decided to use these peanut M&Ms because we did not have any jelly beans. The third and final Easter dessert that I'm making are some Jell-O eggs. And a really important thing to make sure you do when you're making these is add lots of oil to your egg molds. You do not want your Jell-O to stick. And I think the easiest way to do this is add some vegetable oil to, or any sort of oil to, a bowl, and then use a napkin to kind of brush it all over your egg molds. So now I'm going to make the Jell-O. This is really crooked. There we go. So now I'm going to make the Jell-O for my Easter Jell-O eggs, which is 2/3 of a cup of boiling water and then 1 3-ounce package of Jell-O mix. And I'm using cherry for my first batch. Mix it up until it's dissolved. Then I'm going to pour it into my Jell-O egg molds, and I'm gonna be very careful and try not to spill on the counter because red Jell-O will make a mess. Fill it all the way up. And I'm doing 2 batches of these. I'm doing one with this strawberry Jell-O and then one with peach Jell-O. Peach Jell-O is probably my favorite flavor. If you guys watched my peaches and cream Jell-O video from several months ago, you'll know that already. So now I'm going to finish filling these, and I do the exact same thing with my peach Jell-O. So after you pour your Jell-O into the molds, you want to refrigerate these for 1.5 hours until they are firm. So the Jell-O eggs have been in the fridge for about 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, and they are done, and here's what they look like. They kind of don't look entirely like eggs because the top, I kind of ran out of Jell-O to fill the entire mold, but that's okay. I think they still look pretty close, and I know they're gonna be good. Well, that is all the desserts that I made for Easter, and none of them were too hard. I mean, like the 4-layer cake took a long time, but since I used a box cake mix, it wasn't too bad at all. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you all have a very happy Easter, and I'll see you next time. Bye!